That is crazy. Thank you, Missy, in the chat. What's up, Missy? Thank you so much. I can't even send in the chat because we have been just going in and the mics have been off. Look, that's what happens when it's been a long day, y'all. Appreciate you, followers, for
I'm trying to
still being up
take it from
here.
the top
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, we might as well run this back. I was trying to get this. Hold on, let me go. Go ahead and take this off. All right.
I said we end stream, come back in,
No,
take
we're
it from
in.
the top.
No, we can't end the stream, babe.
You don't want to? Okay.
No, you
All right, well, we're going to take it from the
stream.
top. What's up, Blueprint family? How y'all doing out there? Instagram, what's up? Shout out to the Facebook viewers.
Yeah, YouTube
Thank
viewers.
you all for participating. Tonight's topic is hypogamy. It's going to be a long night tonight. Taking it from the top.
Yeah, but that's all right because this was a good topic anyway.
So what we're talking about is hypogamy. So yesterday we talked about hypergamy, how women can gain the advantage and marry up, date up in the social status, and also what does that mean as far as society for women dating up. Now today we're talking about hypogamy. Hypogamy is for the alpha modern woman. So what that means is that women who are exceptional, the exceptional women, more than likely what they do, they date down in society because they have the best, that is the best average, the best probability of a successful marriage is for marrying your equal on down. So with that being said, now we mentioned examples of what hypogamy is. Hypogamy, a great example of hypogamy is Cher and the relationship that she has with that young producer, the Def Jam producer guy. Their age gap is 40 years apart. Now, a lot of women, they may look at that and be like, wow, she's getting it. She's dating this guy. They're engaged. It's 40 years apart. In all actuality, more than likely, she's fronting the bills. Cher is fronting the bills for this guy. So women in the hypogamy world, the alpha modern women world, they're fronting the bills. They're paying, they're working, they're doing all of this stuff in order to maintain their average man.
Yeah, the roles have changed.
Right. The role is reversed. And then so also, another example, we went in on Nicki Minaj's relationship. Now, let's take a stroll through that relationship and see what it looks like. Nicki Minaj used to date Safari. Safari by far was the ultimate beta male. He is the ultimate beta male. So what does that mean? And then I made the joke that, the ultimate beta male can hit himself with a chair and throw it up and just hit himself with a chair. And I know you've probably seen that on that show, that growing up hip hop or whatever the case.
Whatever that show, yeah.
But that man is aloof. He is.
Yeah, true beta male.
He's a true beta male. So with that being said,
and remember the time where Nicki Minaj beat him up with the cooler,
with the cooler,
blacked his eyes, something like
that.
Right,
exactly.
That's not alpha beta relationship.
Right.
I don't know what it is. Because great.
And then we talked about after she left Safari, Nicki Minaj dated Meek Mills.
Right.
Meek Mills was by far an alpha male. His music comes out as very alpha male mentality.
Yeah.
And Nicki Minaj by far, she has a very alpha female style of her own. Now, what does that equal? Unfortunately for her and Meek Mills, that relationship went nowhere. They created a couple of songs together, but other than that, that was it.
Right.
And then now we look at Nicki Minaj's relationship now with her husband, who was incarcerated. She married this man, as soon as shortly after he came out of jail. Now you see, now what did that provide her with? A children. She has a child. She's also married, and you don't hear much about her.
No, she's very much happy.
Happily
I think she
married.
has reached what she kind of want it. And that proves to show that even the most like passionate feminists in a way naturally would want a family and a lover and a companionship. But the issue is, like we talked about yesterday, women want that hypergamous relationship where the man brings in the value. But as we see, hypogamy is now where female progression is moving to, because females have outpaced themselves in the market so much by being so educated that now you're butting heads very much like you do in the market, competing with
Right.
those that you want to be in a relationship with, because
Right.
these are the people that you're trying to be with.
Right. Because naturally, a alpha male man is not looking for an alpha woman.
Mm-mm.
Alpha male man or a male of high value is looking for a woman who is feminine, who is
Mhm.
a helpmate, who doesn't mind raising his children, um, doesn't mind cooking and cleaning for him when he
Yeah.
gets home from work. Now, the thing is this, we're talking about hypogamy women. So often at times, hypogamy is successful for those alpha women only if they date down. But the problem is this, hypogamy women, alpha modern women don't want to date down. They naturally don't. The example that I used was Nicki Minaj.
Right.
You know, she tried that thing with Meek Mills. You know, they want an alpha man, but the relationship does not work out because they butt heads in their relationship.
Mhm.
It's not fruitful. It turns into nothing.
Right. Speaking of the jail situation, another example was the prison bay.
Right. Jeremy
The
Meeks.
Jeremy Meeks, right? That is the ultimate example of like a hypogamous relationship, because if you're not familiar, Jeremy Meeks was the guy that had the mugshot that all the women fell in love with. I think he had like green blue eyes or something like that, light skin, picked up a few modeling gigs and stuff after that. So being in that relationship is the biggest hypogamy, because he ended up getting contact with what the heir of I can't think of the name of the company or
Top
whatever.
Shop.
Top Shop, the heir of that company. So wow, that's
Yeah, Jeremy Meeks left his wife and kids for an heiress, a $1 billion heiress, who found his mugshot and she wanted him. She was head over heels for this guy. That heiress, she dated down. She
Mhm.
dated down. That seems to be the trend that these women, modern women, or alpha women rather, they date down because they know the best success for them is to find a man who needs them more than they actually need them,
Mhm.
because they're going to be the ones that's paying for everything for this man. In this situation, roles have been reversed. Um, the man is more than likely probably staying at home taking care of the kids. They're more than likely they are cooking, cleaning when the woman gets home. She's not going to trust him with no maids in the house. That ain't happening. So he's going to be in there cooking and cleaning.
Right.
You know, he has a lot of free time on his hands. So that's what that relationship looked like. Now, women, alpha women, women with all these multiple degrees. Are you sure this is what you want to trade for? You're trading your family and your life for a situation to where you will have to make the decision to date down. I bet you a lot of you all women out there who are in your careers didn't even think about this. That the reason why you're still single is because you refuse to date down, to date an average man. What's wrong with dating an electrician? What's wrong with dating a plumber? What's wrong with dating a mechanic?
Right. When, especially if you are super educated, you could take your skills to better elevate the man. And then who knows, like that relationship could flourish to the point where he's making now more money than you. And
Right.
yeah, it would be a beautiful relationship if you allow it to work, because that's kind of what you choose, right? When you go after, you decide to be a go-getter and do all these things on your own and be independent first, and you kind of sacrifice the family life.
Right.
You put that on the back burner.
But the problem is this. Sometimes once you've elevated that man, the relationship fails anyway. And I'm gonna tell you
Mhm.
why, because you are not in your feminine.
Right.
You've probably nagged this man half to death about some certain
Mm.
things, and then he just waiting for that opportunity and time to leave you.
Yeah.
That happens. It just happens, modern women. You've elevated yourself to the point that there are less suitors for you because the suitors that are available, you don't want them.
Mm-hmm.
These modern women want high value men. They want men who
High
can
status.
match their vibes, can match their energy, can match their pocketbook, can match their bank accounts.
That homogamous relationship.
Right.
But again, what's the success? What's the odds of a homogamous relationship if you are extremely an outlier when it comes to financials, education, all this other things? Like, what's the chances of
Right.
that happening?
The probability of that is slim to none because, like I stated before, the opposite. Your male counterpart is not looking for somebody who is equal like he is. He's looking for somebody who needs him also.
Yeah,
You know, uh,
men like that.
right. Men want to provide for women that need them,
Mm-hmm.
not women that don't need him for nothing.
Yeah. Instead, if you want to be an alpha woman who doesn't need a man, then you should be in a hypogamous relationship because then you don't need the man. You can instead invest or in the relationship and in the man in a way and help him be better so that you guys can be better if that's what, if you really want love. I mean, we've seen it again, like we said, we saw it in Nicki Minaj, we saw it in Cher, we see it in,
Right.
the
But
prison babe boo.
those are exceptional women though.
Right, right,
That's the problem is that a lot of these modern alpha women are just average women.
right.
You're making, to be honest with you, above average money, have average looks,
Yeah.
and that's pretty much it. You only get what you put out.
Yeah. And then if you look, this was a recent study. Now I think it's a great time to bring this in. Very recent, published October 1st, 2021, first issue 2022, February. So it's Oxford Academy talking about how in their study they found that maybe hypogamous unions aren't as successful because the women are coming out to be more depressed. So, here, quick abstract. I'm not going to read all of it. You guys can check this out on your own, but it was a great article saying basically, owing to the educational expansion, women are now increasingly overrepresented in higher education. We were talking about this. Modern women are the most educated women within time. We are going after it, doing the thing. But faced with diminished opportunities to homogamously matched, we were talking about that, finding your equal. A rising number of women opt for lower educated partners, female hypogamy. Up to now, patterns of women's mental health across educational sorting configurations have remained largely undocumented. Compared to those in homogamous couples, hypogamous women may be more vulnerable to stress and poor mental health, given a presumably stronger double burden, lower partnership quality, or greater financial strain. So, again, you guys can check this out on your own, but basically,
Basically, everything that Nicki Minaj has gone through. Um,
or is it, I mean, but that's just, I don't even know if we can say that now because she's still in a hypogamous relationship. Her husband does not make at all more than her. So, I mean, like they always say, looking on the outside, and you never know if somebody is truly, genuinely happy,
well,
but she does have the family that she wanted,
yeah, but it's of a lower quality partner. Check, and she bears the financial stress.
Right,
Check. Case in point, he had a court case, and then she has to front all the lawyer fees,
right,
lawyer, and all that other stuff. And she can only hope that he doesn't get himself into any more trouble. See, the
right.
thing is this: women, these modern women, you get yourself into this situation, you outprice yourself in the market, and then you're picking the average on down of the type of man that you can maintain a relationship with. The
Yeah,
problem with that is that more than likely those are the knuckleheads that you're dealing with.
yeah,
That's just the game that you got to play.
right.
So therefore you've traded a a a chance to be with a high value man for somebody that you more than likely going to have to physically struggle with. You're going to have to front the bills for this guy.
Yeah,
You go,
because you wanted to do that,
and
right?
then on top of that, this man is of lower quality. He's not as educated. He doesn't make as much money as you, or
Right.
desire the capacity to want to make any money at all, or want to work.
Right. And then also,
That is the reason why these women are depressed.
right. Because if you think about it too, when it's said the greater financial strain, the lower partnership in particular, you would think that, okay, if these women are out here and they're making a whole bunch of money, right? And they're the ones that have to carry up all the burden, they're still the ones that are going to be having the babies. Because
Right.
it's not like the gender role switch. The
Switch, right.
gender role is still very much the same, but I get the power role kind of switched, the power dynamics kind of
Right.
switched. Why, in a way, you're like asking for more, I guess, heartache and hurt in your, because you gotta go to work, you gotta have kids, you gotta do all this other stuff. Like, where do you have it down? Oh yeah.
So if you look at this highlight right here, it says results confirm that women in hypogamous unions were more depressed than those in homogamous couples, largely due to greater economic insecurity.
Right. That's the insecurity right there. Because if you fall off, you have that baby and have some issue to where you can't go back to work, what happens? Now, Nicki Minaj may be okay because I'm sure she got millions and millions of dollars set to the side just in case. But we're talking about just
The
the average,
average,
maybe 6-figure woman who, has 6 figures and now, you're good, but you have outpriced the men because how many men make 6 figures along with you? So then y'all buy a house, everything is based off of your credit, and then you go have kids and you can't keep it up for whatever reason. Who knows, life happens. That's a big insecurity. Like, that's kind of scary,
hmm So yeah, that's just the reality of the situation. So dating down. So continue about talking about dating down, hypogamous relationships. Like we talked about share. So older women who are wealthy, they date down.
Mm-hmm.
They're widowed.
Prison Bay, whatever his
Right.
is.
Women who are widowed, they sometimes they date down because they have an inheritance and they're trying to protect their inheritance, and they want to date somebody down, because more than likely is an older man is not looking for an older woman. Normally, older men look for younger women.
Right.
So you
Especially if he doesn't have kids.
can't find love there, unfortunately. But so for the college, like I said, for the college educated women that's out here, you all are really going to have to do a lot of soul searching with yourselves and a lot of adjusting, because even now today, even in the job markets, you all know that um jobs are consolidating. Jobs are becoming fewer and fewer now in these days and times. If you don't believe me, look at the tech companies that folded in the past couple of months. We all thought that we need IT people and all these other people that are working with computers, and the reality was that there were too many of them. There are too many of us with college degrees here in the United States who are competing for jobs. And then, like my wife said, that the majority of these college women, people are women. If I'm not mistaken, I believe it's now African American women. So what does that do with your salary on the job market? At entry level, your salary is lower than what it used to be 10 years ago.
Yeah, because it's so
Let,
competitive.
but not, don't forget about inflation. You have to count in the rising cost of inflation. So you're not netting as much as you used to after you pay all of your bills, including your student loans. So what does that ultimately means? You need a man who's working. You need a man who can help support you. And you all both need to support each other to make things work and to grow a family.
And save for retirement.
Right. And save for retirement.
Together.
Because what does retirement look like on the incomes that you all are making? You want to make sure that you're relying on your resources and not your children's when you get in that age of retirement. Because I stated those statistics before. Even after the age of 65, when we retire now here in America, we still need a part-time job, because the statistic is that when we retire, we need at least 70 to 90% of our income that we used to make in order to support our lives, our daily lives, from 65 to 90 or 95 years old. and that money is coming from your retirement funds, Social Security, any savings that you have, and then now your part-time job, because inflation is that bad.
Yeah, you see a lot of older people working
Working
part-time
still.
jobs or having a hard time retiring.
Right.
Like that's a bigger thing. And in fact, wasn't something recently in the news
They want to
about
make the retirement age
age
70.
right. Why? Because it's not like
Because Social Security cannot front the bill.
right. It's not that people don't want to retire, it's that they can't
Right. And more
retire.
people
It's
want
much
to
harder.
retire.
Right.
We're going through the wave of baby boomers, the
Yeah.
largest retiring class of people in our society ever are retiring. And it is putting a stress and strain on government spend, not let alone, government is spending like crazy. So what is retirement going to look like when I retire? Is there ever
Right.
going to be Social Security? I don't know.
Right.
But, the statistics that's showing to me is stating that I'm going to need a part-time job when I retire, because what I make alone and my savings and my retirement funds are not going to equal up to me living up to 90 years old.
And we make over 6 figures. Like
Right.
that's the crazy thing about it.
So, I'm not trying to be homeless,
Right.
in my later years. So
You got to hustle, make more money.
Yep.
But also, a way to hustle and make more money, women, and also find love is to consider hypogamy. As much as, too, we talk about, okay, there are disadvantages. There, as with everything, there are advantages as well. So you do get your relationship of having a companion, a man that you love, a man that you can have a life with. Now, what does this mean? With you being the more educated one, you will probably have to step in and help this man into a better position, so that then there maybe could be a dynamic shift, or even just him making your equal. You know what I mean? Like, so it definitely has to, women definitely should consider hardworking men. I'm not saying get
average
bombs,
men
but I'm talking about hardworking men. Your local electrician
or
who could
mechanic.
who could benefit from a smart woman coming in and showing him how he can elevate his company. So then he's making 6 figures right along with you, and who knows, even more. And then you could probably stop having to work or whatever. It's
Right.
ways to work a relationship, but it's just to be mindful of where you are and then how to play out the best,
Right.
case scenario for you.
But I said that earlier when the mic was off, is that even though you elevate this man and he owns his own business because you funded it, he may become a flight risk. It
Yeah.
depends on how you treated this man, and if you were in your feminine qualities while you were supporting him.
Yeah.
So even though you've raised that business that this man is now a part of, is he a flight risk? Will he leave you?
That means that the woman then will have to take the same precautions as another very successful man in the other sense. Prenups,
Prenuptial agreements. Right.
things you may have to go those routes to protect yourself as well, because you now have gained more wealth, and you too need to protect that as well. So yeah, that's definitely a big thing to consider.
Right.
And I think too, not getting into a relationship with somebody who would use you, very much like we were talking about yesterday with the hypergamy, in the hypergamous situations, men to watch out for gold diggers. Well, yeah, women,
Right.
there are gold diggers as well for women. So just to be mindful of that and protect
Oh yeah,
yourselves.
most definitely. Definitely women are, men. Oh yeah, but you live in a time now where everybody's, financially hurt.
Mm-hmm.
There are men out here who is just looking to prey on women. I knew of men who would do that. They would date older Caucasian women because they knew that they were getting money from these women. These women were buying them outfits, buying them Timberland boots, shopping for them at Nordstrom's, and all that other crazy stuff. You have these beta males out here that's out here trying to smooch and suck and leech off of these women with money and retirement funds.
Right.
I've seen it.
And you got to protect yourself too.
Right.
So yeah, we're not saying don't go out here and get Pookie and Ray Ray. It's very risky to get the man from the jail.
I mean, but that's the dice. That's the game that these women have elevated themselves to play. It's a more dangerous game for alpha modern women to play. The more that they elevate themselves into this higher career of looking for love. I'm telling you, it is, as opposed to a woman who didn't go to college, a feminine woman who can hold it down in the kitchen, cook and clean. To be honest with
and
you,
just support a man who has no, like, I mean, and it's not saying that's just what you always have to do, but it's really about order and kind of making sure to what's the best thing for me as a woman, in the sense of, if I want to have kids, if I want to be married,
right,
consider, okay, maybe get that down first, and then, okay, later on go after, the things that you want to go after,
right.
and then you could figure out how to work that with your family. So yeah, it's definitely, you have to consider that. And I don't think that they gave us that understanding of, we say feminism, oh, run and go grab the bag, do what you do it all, but you don't really talk about the things you risked, or when you
No,
just go running after other things. So
right, right. I mean, we can look at that real quick. What is it? What are women giving up by getting doctorates degrees and not and delaying families? This is what they're losing. One, they're losing finding um
they're equal, I think, because
right,
a lot of that time it's easier to find your equal when you're younger
right.
than
It
when
is
you're older, of course. So that's a huge one. You're less likely now, because think about it. If you were talking about your equal, so maybe you and a man are out of college or whatever, and y'all have been working or whatever, y'all are kind of your equal. You haven't made as much money, but you're able to work together and then elevate yourself to a better position.
right,
Versus, okay, you did it without the man. You don't, now your chances of getting it equal because you out, beat all the men is really slim to none. So
right.
that's gone.
Those are the LinkedIn sisters. All those girls in LinkedIn that I went to college with, and even those ones that try to hit me up in my DMs because they think that I'm one of their friends' friend or something like that. Men who are in higher value, like I said before, are not looking for women with careers. They're not. They're really not looking for women with careers.
Especially at night when they have elevated themselves
Right,
to have them. They want
right,
families. They want
right.
wives.
So, like I said, what
Mm-hmm.
does that look like for these women? They're women who get those careers and those six-figure jobs. You know, they build their careers up until their 30s and 40s, and then they start looking for a husband
Mm-hmm.
in the market. And then not only just any husband, they're looking for a modern, high value man husband.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've stated this before: these men are not necessarily looking for them. I don't care if you watch what's that show on TV, Ready to Love. Ready to Love is not a is a fictitious repetition of how older people date and find each other. Because I tell you this, if you replace uh, those older women with younger women that are on that show, you're going to make more connections than dealing with those older women who seem to have it all already.
Yeah.
These women who own their own everything.
Yeah. You're less flexible. Green
Right,
lights, we talked about that. Green lights clips come and soon on that. But
right,
when you're older, you have your whole routine set out. Like,
right.
especially
Or
if
either
you,
just alpha modern
yeah,
women. You have a
especially,
more
yeah.
strict schedule. It doesn't
Mm-hmm.
necessarily have time for a man.
Right.
Men are, men of high value. When they want you, they want you when they want you
Mm-hmm.
when they want you,
Yeah.
not when you want them.
Or you're available.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not looking for your availability. We're looking for you when we want you. So you've lost access to men. These
Yeah.
alpha modern women lost access to good high value men.
Yeah.
And that's just this deal of the situation. And there's nothing wrong with it. You just gotta, you just have to
Take the
grin and
cards you
bear
dealt.
that.
Well,
Right.
take the cards you dealt. Now your cards is different. Like, it is what it is. Your cards
Right.
are just different. So, all right, now you got a new hand. Now you got your money. Cool. Now, how you gonna get a man? Your best bet is somebody who you can elevate along the way.
Right. And then now
Yeah.
you got to think about if you want to have children or not.
Yeah.
That's a dangerous game you're playing at the age of 30, in your 30, mid 30s on up and older, to try to have children,
Yeah.
especially now in these times. Now you're risking pregnancy complications. Women in their with mid 30s, if and even sometimes now later 20s, you're risking complications in pregnancy. you
Yeah.
know you may not, some women may not even survive pregnancy,
Or just getting pregnant is really
or
hard
even
when you're
getting
older.
pregnant.
Yeah.
Right, exactly, as you get older.
Not to mention the energy. You're talking about, are you, so you already high value yourself as a woman, and you got a high demand job, you working all the time, and then you got a toddler you trying to run over, and you 40 years old,
Run over.
friend.
I'm trying to run over your toddlers.
Run around.
You're trying to chase after your toddlers, right?
Yeah,
Exactly.
like,
Where's this energy coming from? Well, I know where it's coming from. It's coming from your average husband who
yeah,
has the luxury to stay home and take care of the kids.
yeah. And I think that more women are going to be waking up into understanding that, all right, maybe this is the cards that I'm dealt, and that, okay, this is, especially with this new wave of stay-at-home dads, men wanting to be stay-at-home dads. That's very
There is no
interesting,
wave
but
of men wanting to. Those aren't men. Those are boys that want to stay
yeah,
home and play
that's
video
true.
games all day.
Yeah,
There
that's
ain't no
true.
such thing as no man that want to
Wave
stay
of
home
boys,
all
yeah,
day.
better term, wave of boys, because that's new. This whole stay-at-home dad, and I mean, I get it. Like I don't know,
I
I
mean,
don't
there's
get
nothing
it.
wrong with it, but I mean, just the fact of the situation,
Yeah,
a man is a go-getter. A man wants to
yeah,
provide and protect for his family. He can protect his family from home. Yeah. I mean, you're providing by taking care of the kids in some way, a form of
mm-hmm.
fashion, but naturally and traditionally, a man is out there in the world, elevating himself and,
Yeah.
taking in information from the outside world and risking himself every morning to go to work.
Right. Do you think a lack of testosterone is kind of what's making men more apt to take this more nurturing feminine role? Not saying that men aren't nurturers, but they're not as.
No, I think what it is that they haven't had an example of what a man is, or because we were raised by women.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it really is. You don't we don't have good examples of what men are and what they do because we haven't had those examples
Yeah.
in our daily lives.
Yeah.
You know, men used to hunt, fish. When it was cold, they would split wood,
Yeah.
burn fires. Things like that. We don't see that anymore.
Right.
You know, those examples are far and few in between.
Yeah.
So that's what I think it is. I mean, yeah, you could contribute low testosterone. We talked about the hormone videos. By all means, men check your testosterone level.
Yeah.
That is a benefit there for you, and you can recognize whether or not you have low testosterone or not. You can do something about that.
Mm-hmm.
And boosting your testosterone will get you more confident. It will get you out and about, wanting to do more and discover things.
Yeah.
But I think that's what happened to men. But you see these modern women can choose and pick these guys, and then
Yeah.
they'll probably have longer relationships than being in one with an
Yeah.
alpha male mentality. I know we beat that topic up.
But I mean, it's true, because now more than ever, we are seeing this shift from female hypergamy
Right.
to female
Hypogamy.
hypogamy, which
Right.
is like, it's now prevalent more than ever. This is
But
like a complete shift we're really
I'm
witnessing.
telling you, the shift is going to go back to women being more hypergamous
Yes.
and
Yeah.
less hypogamy,
Yeah.
because you're going to get less people going to college. You're going to get less women going to college, graduating
Yeah.
to college, because we can't afford it.
Yeah.
Because if this economy is squeezing every nickel and dime out of people, and there's nothing wrong with that.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that. I'm all for women being hypergamous, because what it does, it pushes the man to be more masculine, pushes the man to be more of a provider and protector if he wants a wife.
Yeah.
It
As
allow
he should be, yeah.
women are able to compete for these men, and then at the same token, to be honest with you, men are going to have to be forced to compete for wives.
Right. Make them elevate. And I think that's, I guess, part of the reason why women are upset, because they have gone out and become so educated, but they haven't seen the men, I guess, in a way kind of keep up.
They're
But
not.
yeah.
That's the thing, is that men aren't these women are looking, like you said, we're looking for a man to keep up.
Yeah.
The thing is
being
that
their equal. That's because, like
right,
I said,
they're
the homo,
not
the equal thing. But they
right,
do it too late. They
right.
do it after you've kind of like, it's not really equal footing, because I mean, you've gone in, and I mean, you've done a great job. You've amassed 6 figures for yourself, women. If you have done that, like, great. But then again, what have you sacrificed? Because how many men have done this as well? And then, is a man that is your equal now at the moment where you are looking for a spouse, is he looking for you as well? People gotta, women really gotta consider that. Like, where is my timing? Okay, if I go to college now, 4 years from now, and then I try to go for my doctorate, master's, all that other great stuff, you talking about like what, 12 years worth of schooling. Yeah,
that
you're
you
like,
put off a relationship.
yeah. And then so 12 years from the moment that you're thinking about doing this, 12 years from now, where are you going to be at? What your age is going to look like?
Right.
You're well off. You're older, but you're well off. So then, okay, well, who's checking for an older, well off woman?
Pookie and Ray Ray.
the lower
Pookie and Ray Ray.
the lower
Modern
economic
women
status
need to
men.
choose
Yeah.
Pookie and Ray Ray,
No.
pay their child support, bail them out of jail. That'll be the longest relationship they've ever been in. I'm
No.
telling you. I'm serious, for real.
Or go for the average man, like I said, with like
Right, yeah,
the tradesmen, like your
right.
mechanics, your electricians, your your maybe even accountants, your 9-to-5ers. Go for men that
Right. Elevate them, buy them a business, and then they'll be saying bye to you tomorrow.
Right.
Thank you for
No,
building my
but
business.
then again, taking the precautions of protecting yourself as a woman who has amassed this huge amount of who is this Prison Bae? Do y'all remember Prison Bae? Like, I have got to show this because that is just the best example of a hypogamy situation. Is that Prison Bae?
You want me to type it?
Jeremy Meeks, you said his name was? Yeah, because that is like, now I'm sure she got a prenup. Why does our mouth keep muting? I'm sorry, y'all. So we're going to check out this Prison Bae. Yeah, I remember him, right? The guy with the mugshot. You remember the hot convict guy? You remember him with the eyes and stuff like that? Like, I know you remember him. This dude had a whole kids and a family.
He was married. He was
in jail. Like, and then he left his wife for a whole new billionaire wife. Like,
yep, Chloe Green. Yeah. So yeah, that's hype. That's hype.
At its finest.
What do you call it?
What does she do?
Hypogamy.
But
she's an heiress.
But he says if she didn't have $1, I wouldn't give a shoot, because it is true love for him.
That's a lie. That is all a lie.
Is it?
Yes, because he already found true love with his wife and 3 kids.
Right. What happened to that? What happened to that? So this
hypogamy happened to
him. It really shows. Like, women.
He was hypergamous because he dated up, and she's hypogamy because she dated down.
Now
it works. Hypogamy only works for the exceptional woman, the woman who's already wealthy, established. College degrees do not qualify you for these type of relationships, women.
Right.
6-figure salaries.
1 day ago.
6-figure salaries necessarily don't do it either. So what I'm saying is this, and what we're saying is this, is that women, average. What's wrong with the average man?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with the average man. Alpha women.
No.
But what I'm saying is this: alpha women, the average man. If you're working with this average man to gain confidence, to be a skill master in his craft, ultimately what he's going to naturally turn into is an alpha male.
Right.
Alpha male and alpha female mentalities butt heads all day long.
Yeah.
And it necessarily does not work out. Case in point, Nicki Minaj and Meek Mills.
Right.
But what did work for Nicki Minaj was a beta male relationship.
Prison Bae.
No, but for real, her own Prison Bae, the man that she's currently married with and has children with. Hey. You have to date down women, alpha women who got it all, who don't need a man for nothing. The best probability to have a successful marriage is to date down.
Yeah.
To date the average man on down.
Right.
That's something that you all don't want to do. Mm-hmm. You keep looking for the high value man, but the probability of you actually marrying the high value man is slim to none.
Right. So what's the answer? Maybe be mindful of
It's dating
what
average
you
on
want.
down.
Yeah, but mainly being mindful ahead of time what you want and like where you're gonna be at. I think it's important for women to look at the overall aspect of their lives and
Young
really
girls need
consider,
to.
yeah, young
Young
girls,
girls
yeah,
need to
yeah,
really consider whether they want families or not.
and the time span of how that's gonna look and
Right.
like what that looks like. Where am I at in this moment in time based off of my careers or goals that I have for myself? Where, where will I be and
And then
what's best?
be realistic about your goals.
Mm-hmm.
What type of husband you want. What qualities that you want in a husband. Also, too, what is it that you have to offer the husband, especially if you want a high value man, because
Mm-hmm.
those qualities are different based upon the type of man that you have, whether he's high quality, low, medium, or
Yeah.
low quality. So that's just the reality of the situation.
Yeah.
So with that being said,
Yeah, this was a great show. I think tomorrow would be nice to get more into this homogamy,
mhm,
which
it's dating your equal.
little sneak peek, dating your equal and how to actually do that. The best timing for that. Is it a timing thing? I think a lot of this really well, everybody says that, oh, it's got to be the right time, right? So what is the best timing for finding your equal and being able to have that type of relationship,
Right.
What does that look like? I think that's
Right.
going to be a great topic.
I'm all for hypergamy though.
Yeah.
Women who can date up, find that man who can provide and protect for them, who's a big catch for them.
Yeah.
I'm all for that.
Traditionally, that's how marriages went. Like since the beginning of men and women coming together and mating, it's always been about the man taking in the woman,
Right.
and not really caring more so about, especially if you look in like Indian culture. So we kind of talked about this last night, but in Indian cultures in particular, with their daughters, they look at the man who wants to marry their daughter and look at their education. They look at how much money they make. They look at does he have a house? Does he have this? Does he check all these boxes? Is he ready to provide for my daughter before you give your daughter to that man? So it's very important that that man checks and hits those boxes. I think the lack of men actually going out here and doing those things too has, well, partially because of the economy. Unemployment is on the rise. We kind of contributing to that. I guess too, we got to contribute a lot of men not having fathers in the home, so they don't even know how to go out there and be those leaders and take on those roles. Traumas. There's a lot of reasons to why our men, I think, have not, I guess, kind of been go getters as much as women have. Also, too, I think women have had a lot more push and motivation as far as like feminism. Go out there and get the bag, da 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 da. But it's not as much for that for men. It's kind of just like a silent requirement, like, oh, get it done.
Right. And then also too, men, we are more hands-on. Men are more
Yeah.
hands-on than women. So this whole school design and the whole setup of school and classes is actually geared towards the feminine,
Yeah,
the
that's
feminine
so true.
qualities.
Sitting
So
down, book work.
right,
Yeah.
men don't naturally we don't excel that way.
Yeah.
Naturally, we don't really excel in the book work. We more so excel in hands-on things, turning wrenches and climbing ladders and
Right.
jumping off buildings and stuff like
And
that.
truth be told, and going back to the hypogamy, women who are making a lot of money, I don't know if you're very mechanical. If you do all those things, it would probably be in a great interest to you to get a man who at least is very handy as a man, who can do these things around the house, who can do these things. And maybe, like we said, you can elevate him, especially if he's in a trade or a craft that he's really good at. You can get him to sharpen his skills, open up a business. Who knows? The opportunities are endless when you have elevated yourself to a position to help somebody else. So,
right. But I'm just
yeah.
telling you too, naturally those men turn into alpha men and then they start butting heads. Because look at Jeremy Meeks.
Yeah.
He walks down runways.
That's
He's not
point.
turning any
Yeah.
wrenches and
Yeah, but that
putting
was
out
what
any
she wanted him to
fires
do.
or
So, she helped him get that little thing.
yeah, but
Yeah.
she got him in that box though, that beta male box.
Yeah.
Hypergamy, hypogamy women, your successful marriage is to put that beta male in that box and keep him there.
Or not. It would be nice if a woman could then step back. Because, after a while of a woman being like, go, 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 maybe by the time that she is ready to settle down and have kids, and if she's lucky to find a man who will settle down and have kids with her, that then she's like, okay, I can step back, especially if I elevate this man, then I can step back and be, feminine. But then again, like I said, that's like a switch. And
Yeah, but
femininity isn't kind of something you can
right,
turn on and
that's
off. So
something you are.
yeah, especially when you're talking about behavior traits, masculine, alpha,
Right. That's
traits
something you
that
really
are
got to
really,
be
yeah,
conscious of.
yeah,
Is your femininity. That's what attracts good men, is being a feminine woman.
yeah.
You know.
And what do we mean by feminine? We're not talking about prettiness. We're talking about, your inner qualities of being a good, wholesome, kind, empathetic, caring, nice. Those are big feminine traits that are commonly overlooked, but honestly are the big bulk of what makes a woman beautiful, is her natural
Her
instinctively,
inner
yeah,
beauty.
to be nice
That's
and
what makes
kind
the
and
world
sweet.
turn.
Yeah. Yeah,
That's
and
what makes
loving
the
and
world turn.
supportive and encouraging and stuff. Yeah. So
Right.
yeah, and a natural feminine woman would want to do that for a man, to be that way towards a man too.
Right.
Another point that just popped in my head too, when we're talking about hypergamy for the man, if it's like flip to the hypogamy, a big part of being hypergamous is being generous. That's why women look for the alpha males, because they're commonly more generous. So that's something though that's different, that you don't see so much with alpha women. They're not as generous as the
But
alpha
they
man.
have to be though.
Yeah, but they have to be. So that's a huge thing. So alpha woman, if you know
You're
that you're an
fronting the
alpha
bills.
woman, yeah, you
You
gotta learn
paying
to
the
be
bills
generous.
now.
Yeah.
Jeremy Meeks is getting his bills paid by that heiress. Nicki Minaj's husband is getting her bills
all
paid.
his bills.
All his
Out of
bills
court
paid.
and
All he got to
everything.
do is stay at home and watch the baby and play PlayStation all day.
Yeah.
While she go out and sing and rap and stuff, and do all that stuff. So I mean, yeah, women, young women especially, think about where you want your life path to go.
Mm-hmm.
You don't necessarily need a career in order to find a husband. That's all for yourself. If you want to do for yourself, then by all means go ahead and do it. But what we're saying here is that in order to maintain a healthy family, to maintain a healthy marriage, there is a balance here.
Mm-hmm.
Women who have it all, exceptional wealthy women, they date down.
Mm-hmm.
Modern women, you have to make that decision. If you want a long-term marriage, date down.
Mm-hmm.
You can't, you don't have the option of dating up. You do, but your probability of that occurring is slim.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to waste a lot more time trying to find that. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And so go ahead and consider your age.
Mm-hmm.
Really do that, and whether you want to have children or not, because
Mm-hmm.
you all have biological clocks that tick, and once that time is up, then that's it.
Yeah.
That's up. And then so hypergamous women, you need to consider as well. You know, if you want to be hypergamous and trade up and try to find that man, the best value man, but also to be conscious of the fact that you don't want to have too many bodies. You don't want to get into too many relationships and then keep ditching and trading men, because now you're a loyalty risk.
Yeah.
Men are going to question your loyalty to them if they know that you've been in all these multiple relationships just trying to find that perfect man, that one perfect man.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes both alpha women and um, um, hypergamous women and hypogamy women have to think, what's wrong with the current man that I'm with? Nothing. You realize that there's nothing wrong with that man that you're with. You just have to support him and be a helpmate to him and love him and nurture him, and your relationship will grow.
Yeah, and see it return to you.
Yep.
Yeah, because
What you
it's
put
really
in
all
it,
giving. Yep.
what you put in is what you get out. Bottom
Yep.
line, that's what it is.
Yep. So you gotta consider what you want to get.
Yep. But first, the job is to make that connection and get married.
Yeah, order. It's an order
Yep.
to things. Yeah, order. What's the best way to do things? There is a best way to do things.
Because we all don't have the same cards to play with
Mm-mm.
in this game of life. We don't. We have to play to our strengths.
Mm-hmm.
What the things that keep us strong and alive. Those things that keep us going. Those we just have to recognize what our strengths are and play to those.
Yeah.
So for that, that's our time pretty much.
Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in. It's been a great show.
Like I was saying in the beginning, if you all can share our videos with your family, friends, colleagues, we really appreciate it. Help us to get our likes and our subscribes up. And then also too, if for more details on wife and self-help, how to become a wife, more details on that, please check out my wife's wifeconomics.com website, and you'll get some insightful information, and you'll learn on your own and get self-help on relationship advice and things that you can do to better yourself and prepare you to be a wife.
Yep, and this is a live conversation, so call in. Or if you have questions that you would like our input on, we are here to offer solutions that unite us in love. So all of so we will have supportive answers for most of the things, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
So wifeconomics.com/submit a question. Also hit us up in our chat. Appreciate y'all for sticking by, because earlier we had some technical difficulties, but thank you.
And then also too, if you would like for us, for consulting help,
Yeah.
please hit us up on the wifeconomics.com. We schedule a
Yeah.
consultation with us, and we will be more than glad to guide you and with any question that you may have dealing with yourself or relationships or family.
Yeah, but either way, we here Monday through Friday, 8:30.
Going strong.
Doing this for the community. It's all love.
Yeah.
So, and it's fun.
Yeah. Good night, everyone. Thank you for coming out. Peace.